First Lutheran. Today we're going to have our first lesson on the recorder. All of you should have gotten a recorder either in a sock like this or in a plastic case, or some of yours are in purple and green cases. So the first thing you want to do is to very carefully take it out. You don't want to hit this mouthpiece on anything. Take it out, and you'll notice that in most of them, I didn't have enough of these to go around. There are a few students that don't have this. This is a cleaner. If you'll notice that on the end of it has a little bit of a slit, and you can take a teeny tiny piece of fabric and put it on there, and then you'll stick it in the end every single time you play your recorder. Now, all of these recorders were sanitized before you got them, but you've got to keep them nice and clean, because germs and things, icky things, like to grow in dark places. So we keep this nice and clean, and then when you put it away, you just store that in there. Last week I made a bunch of little pieces of cloth. I cut them all out for you out of t-shirt material, put one through there, and it wouldn't go in, and then it was time to get these ready to pass out to you guys. But if you can find some kind of little piece of material, and then, every week or so, stick it in the pocket of your jeans and just wash it with your laundry, and that'll keep it nice and clean. So our cleaner is going to be set aside here. And I want to show you this before we actually get started. This is a flutophone. This is what Mrs. Davis started on in the 3rd grade in Twin Falls, Idaho, when I was little, because we started band in the 4th grade then. And it's kind of looks like a little recorder, but it's made out of plastic, and it's not as high quality of plastic as what you got for your recorder, but it's a fun little instrument. It fingers almost the same way, but it has kind of a tinny sound. And when you play your recorder, you'll notice that when you blow it just right, then you'll get a little bit nicer sound. So that's the difference between a flutophone and a recorder. Okay, I'm going to set this aside over here. When you get ready to play your recorder, you don't want to put your teeth on the top or the bottom. Some of these that you see may look like they've got little teeth marks in them. The student that had this before may not have known this, but we use what we call a double lip embouchure. And you're going to take your index finger and put it on your bottom lip and curl it in like that, and then your top lip will cover your top teeth, so it looks like this, like that. And then you're going to seal your lips around your finger like this. Okay, go ahead and do that with your finger and practice with me. Curl it in, curl your top one, then over the top like that. Now, after you get your finger put in there and you get your lips sealed around your finger, try and blow. There should be no air coming out, and that's the way that we need to seal around the mouthpiece of the recorder. So go ahead and put it in your mouth. Remember to curl here and curl here, teeth do not touch, and very gently blow and make a sound. Sounds kind of like a whistle, doesn't it? This is called a whistle mouthpiece. Now, don't blow really hard, or you're going to get really screechy sounds. These recorders can make beautiful, beautiful music. Okay, for our first note, you see there's a hole on the back. You're going to take your left thumb and you can put it over that hole, and then your left index finger is going to cover the top hole right there, and that's going to be your first note. For now, I just want you to take these 2 fingers and hold the bottom of it so you don't drop it, and play this note with me. Should sound about like that. Go ahead and try it. Remember to blow very, very gently, like you're trying to almost blow a candle out. If we were in a classroom, I would go around and I'd blow on your finger so you could see how hard to blow, but I think you'll get the idea. That note is called B. Now we're going to take our middle finger, keeping your thumb here and your index finger here. We're going to take our next finger and cover up this hole here, and it'll be a lower note. Listen to this one. Try doing that. That note is called A, and we're going to learn to read those on the staff here in a few minutes. So play B with me. Ready? Go. Now we'll play A. Putting this finger down and leaving the other 2 down. Ready? Go. That's B and A. We're going to learn one more note here. That note is G. Spell the word B-A-G. So to play G, you're going to put your ring finger down. Remember, you keep your thumb here Index finger here, middle finger here, and your ring finger here. Make sure that your fingers are covering the holes. We want to use the softy part of our fingers. We don't want to use the tips because then it wouldn't seal the holes very well. And you don't want to wrap your fingers around the instrument because that won't seal very well either. The softest part of your finger is what goes over these little holes very gently. Okay, here we go. We're going to have thumb, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger, and we're going to play G. Ready? Go. That is G. There we go. That is G. Make sure you got that thumb covered up. Okay, looking at the music that I gave you, the very first page of it has what we call a fingering chart. And if you will look and find where the letter B is, follow it straight down and you'll see the fingering that I showed you. This little circle over here, let me point with my pencil so you can see it a little bit better. This little circle over here is your thumb, and then that very little circle right there is your index finger. So you notice that that circle's colored in and that circle's colored in, but these are not. So let's remember that's how we play B, with our thumb and our index finger. Now looking at that picture, let me show you again how that note is fingered. Okay, we got our thumb and our index finger only, and that makes the note B. The second note we learned was going down the scale, going backwards here. The next note we learned was A. Remember, I had you put down your middle finger, and you can look at the chart here and you can see how the thumb's colored in, the index finger's colored in, and the middle finger's colored in, but the ring finger is not colored in. This big line across here shows you the middle of the recorder, like the difference between your left hand and your right hand. Anything above the line is your left hand, and anything below the line is your right hand. Okay, let's look at the third note that we learned. See how it works on the fingering chart. We learned A, B, then we learned A, then we learned G. And G was your thumb, your index finger, your middle finger, and your ring finger. So we've got 3 different notes that we've learned. That's how you read the fingering chart. And when you get done watching the video, if you want to learn some of these other notes, notice how they go down like that. So all the fingers are down like this as the notes go down the scale. The first note we learned was B, and some of you have had music before, you've had piano lessons, and you already know this, but some of you have not. The middle line of the staff for treble clef is B. Then the next note down is A. We've had some of this in choir. And then G. Okay, let's look at the next page now. Turn it over like this and prop this up so you can see it. Well, I'm going to hold it like this so you can see it while I'm talking about it. Here it reteaches you how to play that first note and shows you where it is on the staff. It says play each song twice. It's with Rocket Man and once without. The Rocket Man is a recording, and I don't have that recording, but we could still play this song. So see how the B is in the middle of the line of the staff, and if you've had music before, you remember that a quarter note is colored in and has a stem. I hope you can see this in the video while I'm playing. So each one of these notes that's colored in and has a stem gets 1 count, and this little snaky looking guy here, this is a quarter rest. So this gets 1 count here. So there are 4 counts to the measure, and we would count this B, B, rest, rest. Or we would count it 1, 2, rest, rest. There are 4 counts in each measure. And look at this measure. A measure is the space between the bar lines that go up and down. Look at this measure. Doesn't it look a lot like this one? Is this one different? This has 1, 2, 3 B's and 1 count of rest or silence. This measure has 1 B and 3 counts of, you got it, silence. So let's look at this first line here. And when you play the B on your recorder and you want to have the difference between the 2 different notes, we call that tonguing. So you're going to say 2, 2 into your recorder. Let's try that now. Finger B, and listen how it's going to sound. I'm saying t, t. Do that without your recorder first. T, t. That's right. Now, into your recorder, remember your double lip on, make sure your teeth do not touch. So I would play this, B, B, rest, rest. It's hard for me to hold it and play it at the same time, but I bet I can. Well, why don't you play it while I point, okay? You all ready? You got your B fingers, your thumb on the back, and your index finger on that first note. Here we go. Ready? Go. B, B, rest, rest. Did you get that first measure right? Let's do that again. Ready? Go. B, B, rest, rest. That's exactly right. Now see if you can play that whole first line between now and our next lesson. And remember, when you're through playing your recorder, I don't have a piece of fabric with me right now, but I'll have it before our next lesson. Put a little piece of fabric in there and run it up there and get all the moisture, because when you blow through something, there's moisture in your breath. And clean that out, and you'll pull out that piece of piece of cloth, pull it out of there, set it aside, put this back in, and put this in its little sock with the tail going in first so that our cleaning rod doesn't fall out. And then you can stick your cleaning cloth just in the middle of here, and air will get in there and it'll dry that. And remember to wash that with your laundry every week or so. Okay, that's the end of our first lesson. God's blessings, and keep making music.